Welcome everybody, welcome back to the channel. Long time no see. I have been sick and lazy, but mostly sick, which is why I haven't uploaded a video, but now I am back at you guys with another classic in the No Die Classic series. I am bringing you one of the guys who couldn't make it the world champion, but was probably one of the strongest contender for the title of the strongest to have never achieved the title, along with Korchnoi. And this is the very same guy who was the first chess player, in my opinion, or rather as far as I'm aware, who was actually present on his country's currency, so his face was printed on money. And this dude is none other than the amazing Paul Keres, the Estonian legend, and his opponent today is a world champion, the very likable Keres Spassky. So we are looking at a true gem here today. The opening is Nimzo Indian, and on the menu is a lesser played sideline with early b6 bishop b7 followed by knight e4, which is essentially the main concept of the Nimzo Indian defense, controlling the e4 square, that is. But most players choose to play here castles, and then d5 c5, contesting the center as best as possible is the normal method of playing. This is a somewhat lesser played line, and Keres actually, and in this particular game, Keres, and this game is what I wanted to say, put this out of fashion pretty much for good. So watch carefully as Keres shows us an amazing lesson on how to play very, very powerful, forceful and logical chess based on sound principles. So after knight e4, the normal looking queen c2 allows black to have a very pleasant position in the Nimzo Indian. This is a stock standard setup anyway, but with the double pawns it makes it even more tempting to go for this as black. So white went for the pawn sack, and this is a really awesome moment to stop, to reflect on what is going on here. If they take and rook b1, it's easy to see that white is going to get a beautiful position in a few moves. e4 is very difficult to hold. c5 is more or less best. When after rook b3, bishop a5, bishop b2, we have a beautifully harmoniously developed white army ready to launch a very dangerous kingside attack. The black pieces are very poorly coordinated, and the black king is stuck in the center. This is worth way more than a pawn, and we have known this ever since Morphy, and yet people still keep on repeating the same mistake of not even considering key castles because, oh my god, my pawn is hanging. Whereas the reality is that, who cares? So yeah, that would have been the line with knight takes. Bishop takes was the main line at the time, and actually this variation was for a long time considered to be very drawish because of this check and then this queen h5 move here, and the white players for a long time thought that there was nothing here better than taking the knight, and then after take check go for a perpetual check. However, things then have changed, and actually Keres himself was the one who recognized that actually in this position, instead of grabbing the knight, I can just dodge this check by this pawn sacrifice, the second one, once again with the mere and sole purpose of extending his development lead and the scope of his pieces. Now c3 is still not hanging, luckily for black, because of there is a perpetual check now down here, and so he had time to play f5. However, after bishop a3, it's now getting really clear that black is in serious trouble. The king can't castle, the knight is hanging, we have to move again, after which this is where normally we would want to take stock, and we would say that okay, we are 2 pawns down. In return, we have full development, 2 bishops, total domination of the middle. Well, not quite yet, but it's about to come. And a very insecure king in the middle. I would still like to emphasize that a lot of players in this position, especially 2000 and below, would say, my king is weak. Whereas the reality is that there is nothing here to attack this king. You will very soon see that the king that is going to get into serious trouble is in fact this one here. this is totally safe. It's impossible to attack, especially if we do see what white has up his sleeve here. This is probably the hardest move in the game. Rook f1, a beautiful concept. The idea is that white wants to play bishop e2 and then f3, e4. But it's not doable now because of this check. And that would hurt a lot. So rook f1 is just simply beautiful. It really is an absolutely awesome move. Black played rook g8, preempting the threat so that after bishop e2, queen h3, this wouldn't hang, which would be immediate curtains. So white played f3 as per indicated, knight f6. And now white played another beautiful move. It's such an awesome game to watch. And really, it's very, very great when you get to see good players playing really good games, because it's very inspiring and it makes you want to go like, I wish I could play chess like that. And actually, if you follow basic chess principles, like Keres did here, I don't care about pawns, I'm gonna kill you with my better army, then you are going to be able to produce such games. He played here d5. Stunning, stunning beauty. The idea is, of course, that after takes, you manage to open up another file and another diagonal. Knight takes, bishop c4. And now black is really, really, really dying here. So, yeah, there are lots of issues here that black is facing. He decided not to take the pawn, but to keep the position somewhat closed. Played king f7. Hanging on to the pawn and trying to connect the rocks. Quite a sensible idea, although by moving here, obviously, the king has become more of a target. White played e4, beautiful chess, again, very forceful. Note how all white's moves are forward going. Like every single time, even when white goes back, funnily enough, he goes forward. Because the idea of bishop e2 going back is to go forward, forward, forward. Now black played c5. Trademark of a really good player. I mean, let's face it, we are playing against the world champion here, so we expect tough resistance, as tough as it can be in this hopeless position. And white dropped the bishop back. Again, going back, but really going forward, creating lots and lots and lots of nasty threats. Black tried to clog up the position as best as he could. Note how all black pawn moves are designed to keep the position as closed as possible. And note how white's pawn moves are all inviting trades. Take me, so that I can open up files and diagonals. Take me, so that I can open up files and diagonals. And black just keeps on denying, but unfortunately, he falls a little bit too short. Because right now, there is some major drama here around the king and the queen together. So after e5, which was a beautiful move, again forward knight h5, black has got a nasty trick, and that nasty trick is knight g3 check. It also works very well against queen h7 because now we win the queen. So in order to avoid all this, white just played king g1, and again the attempts on the white king are absolutely laughable. And now this is a major threat. So he played this. Now white played rook g4, and that's a beauty to behold. Absolute beauty. And now the plan is that we simply want to play rook f2, bishop f1, and lo and behold, the queen that was supposedly attacking our king is trapped. Black played rook d8. I think the idea was some regroup. Yeah, I'm correct. And in order to prevent that, I don't know why rook d8 though. Boris, why did you play rook d8? No one knows. Anywho, Keres thought, nah, not today, buddy. He played bishop d3, and that is again a beautiful move to destroy your opponent's intentions, because now g7 is no longer playable due to bishop takes g6 check. A beautiful mop-up, which essentially meant that the poor bugger had to go back to g8 to defend g6, and now the icing on the cake, rook f2, the game is over, bishop f1 is going to come, and the queen is utterly, hopelessly trapped. A real masterpiece. I really enjoyed this game. Actually, I need to check if this is how it ended, but I'm pretty sure that that was the end of it. Yeah, a beautiful masterpiece about development advantage, or rather leading development, and yeah, central play. So once again, it all started off in this somewhat dodgy line, which was considered to be rather drawish because of this forced sequence here on f3 and then the check, which Keres dodged by sacking another pawn. And from here on, obviously to get here already took a lot of courage, but from here on, this chess is just picture perfect aggression without stopping. Look at that. Attack, 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 attack. That's the first move that doesn't create an immediate threat, but it's still very powerful. Attack. Essentially, this is an attacking move because now this is threatened. And that's the next move, which is a positional subtlety to make this work. And GG, game over. A very instructive game. I really did enjoy it. In fact, I used it in the past for a couple of my lessons. An absolute masterpiece, and I really think that this is a game in general that we can take a lot away from in terms of how to play dynamic chess and how to understand the relation between material versus better piece mobility and better development. I hope you guys liked it, and I will be back with more soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.